What the hell are you still standing there for? Let them go, now! Hunter Anderson barked angrily once again. Trevor Spanner's eye twitched, and his expression turned grim. If Hunter had tried to reason with him, maybe he could have given him some face. But from the moment Hunter barged in, he was yelling and even slapped him across the face. If he let them go now, how would he maintain authority in front of his men? Chairman Anderson, this guy crippled my son and trespassed on my turf. If I let him go today, how will I show my face again? Trevor said through gritted teeth. Your son got what he deserved. Hunter snorted coldly. If you don't let them go right now, I swear I'll make sure your entire Dre group goes down in flames. Chairman Anderson, I admit I can't afford to mess with you, but don't forget, I've got people backing me too. Trevor barked with false bravado. You mean Edwin Hummer? Hunter let out a mocking chuckle. Let me tell you something. Even if Edwin himself were standing here, he'd have no choice but to let them go. Those words made Trevor's face sink. He didn't expect Hunter to be this hard-nosed. All this, for two strangers? And he was even willing to disregard Edwin Hummer's name? Fine. Very well. I'll be sure to tell Mr. Hummer everything that happened today. Trevor growled with a sinister glint. Edwin Hummer was the head of the three business giants, someone who easily outranked Hunter Anderson. If Hunter disrespected him like this, there would definitely be consequences down the line. Save your breath. Let them go now. Hunter had no interest in further debate. He simply pulled out a gun and pressed it against Trevor's forehead. Let them go. Seeing he meant business, Trevor clenched his jaw and backed down. It wasn't worth risking his life over a moment of pride. Trevor, this is your warning. If anything like this happens again, even Edwin Hummer won't be able to save you. With that final warning, Hunter Anderson personally escorted Dustin and Dahlia out. Nearly 200 thugs stood frozen in place. Not a single one dared make a move. Boss Trevor, we're just letting them go like that. One of the lackeys asked reluctantly. What else could we do? You want to end up with a bullet in your head? Trevor snapped. The lackey instantly shut his mouth. Damn it! I can't just swallow this. Trevor's face was dark as he barked. Contact Fletcher immediately. Get him back here. We're killing that punk Dustin today, no matter what. Yes, sir. As they walked out of the Dre group, Dahlia, who had been unconscious, finally began to wake up. Miss Dahlia, are you all right? Hunter asked with concern. Chairman Anderson? You're here? Wait, was it you who saved me just now? Dahlia looked shocked. I didn't do much, really. Just gave a little help at the right time, Hunter said with a smile. It was Mr. Rhys who fought off 200 men just to protect you. That's true devotion, is that so? Dahlia turned to look at Dustin, her expression becoming slightly complicated. Chairman Anderson, didn't you say you had other matters to attend to? Dustin asked flatly. Oh, right. My memory's getting bad. I'll let you two talk. I'll take my leave now. Hunter didn't linger. After a brief farewell, he and his men departed. President Dahlia! At that moment, Lyra emerged from the car. She'd been waiting at the entrance this whole time, expecting the police. But before they arrived, Dahlia had already come out on her own. President Dahlia, was that Chairman Anderson just now? Lyra asked cautiously. That's right. Thanks to his help, we got out safely. Dahlia nodded. But Chairman Anderson has no connection to us. Why would he personally step in? Lyra was visibly shocked. That's what I find strange too, Dahlia mused. She had no personal relationship with Hunter Anderson. Why would he go out of his way to help? I've got it. It must have been young Master Nolan. Lyra suddenly seemed to realize something. After calling the police, I also called young Master Nolan. He must have asked Chairman Anderson to intervene. Chris Nolan? Dahlia raised a brow, uncertain. Yes. Who else could help us and have the clout to mobilize Chairman Anderson? Lyra said confidently. You might be right. Dahlia nodded slowly. As the two of them spoke, a red Ferrari suddenly screeched to a halt nearby. The door opened, and out stepped a sharply dressed Chris Nolan, acting all flustered and concerned. Dahlia! Are you all right? As soon as I got the call, I rushed over, he said, putting on a show of concern. Young Master Nolan, thank you so much for your help. If it weren't for you, President Dahlia might have been in real danger, Lyra said gratefully. Help? Chris Nolan froze for a second, a little confused. Yes. Chairman Anderson already arrived and personally saved President Dahlia. Lyra beamed. What? Chris was even more stunned. You're incredible, young Master Nolan. I can't believe you were able to call in someone like Chairman Anderson. Truly impressive. Lyra started praising him. Chris's expression twitched awkwardly. Hunter Anderson? He didn't even have the qualifications to meet that man, let alone ask him for help. Still, even though he had no idea what actually happened, the misunderstanding was clear. And he had no reason to correct it. Might as well go with the flow. Ahem. Well, I was just giving it a try. I didn't expect Chairman Anderson to give me this much face. Chris adjusted his tie and played along confidently. Hearing this, Dustin couldn't help but laugh coldly. This guy really had no shame. Wasn't he afraid the truth would eventually come out? Dustin! What are you laughing at? Lyra frowned, clearly annoyed. Look at young Master Nolan. He resolved the crisis with ease. And you? You only know how to use brute force and almost got President Dahlia killed. If he's so capable, why did he show up only after everything was over? Dustin replied calmly. Young Master Nolan may have come late, but he's the one who called in Chairman Anderson. If it weren't for him, do you think you'd have walked out of Trevor's turf alive? Lyra snapped. That's just your assumption. I don't believe Chris Nolan saved me at all. Dustin said blandly. Wow. You're really ungrateful, huh? The man saved your life, and not only are you not thankful, you have the nerve to badmouth him? You're a real piece of work. Lyra looked furious. Forget it. If someone wants to repay kindness with resentment, let's not stoop to his level. Chris said generously, as if letting it go. See? That's what class looks like. Lyra glared at Dustin. Dustin, young Master Nolan saved our lives. Is it really too much to say thank you? Dahlia asked, clearly displeased. If you want to thank him, go ahead. It has nothing to do with me. Dustin replied without a hint of respect. When did you become like this? Dahlia frowned slightly. They had just escaped danger, and he couldn't even say a word of thanks. Did he have no grace? I've always been like this. Don't act like you just met me. Dustin's voice turned cold. And one more thing. Next time, don't stick your nose where it doesn't belong. Barging into Trevor Spanner's turf alone? Are you out of your mind? I'm out of my mind. I only went there to save you. Dahlia's temper flared. Save me? Who asked you to? Dustin's voice suddenly rose. What's your relationship with me? Do I need your saving? Can you stop being so self-important? You were barely able to protect yourself, and you still tried to act tough? You brought this on yourself. The words struck like a slap. Dahlia stood frozen in shock. She never imagined he would say something so harsh. So, that's what you wanted to tell me? Dahlia stood frozen, staring in disbelief. Looking at Dustin's cold, emotionless face, she felt like she was looking at a complete stranger. Deep down, a bitter ache and grievance welled up. That's right. That's exactly what I wanted to say. Dustin's tone was blunt and unrelenting. Remember this, my business is none of your concern. My life or death has nothing to do with you. There's no longer any relationship between us. Do you understand? His righteous, firm declaration left Dahlia paralyzed in place. She had never imagined that her well-meaning intentions would be met with scolding and blame rather than gratitude. When had things between them become so irreconcilable? Hey! Dustin, are you even human? Lyra couldn't take it anymore and snapped. President Dahlia came here to help you, and that's your attitude? Has your conscience been eaten by dogs? And what attitude should I have? Praise her for boldly walking into a den of wolves all by herself? Dustin replied coldly. You're the most ungrateful bastard I've ever met. Lyra shouted, furious. Enough! No more! Dahlia could no longer hold back. After throwing down one last sentence, she stormed off. From now on, I won't care about you anymore. Live or die, it's got nothing to do with me. No one noticed that the always tough, always proud woman now had slightly reddened eyes. Dustin! You better remember this. Don't come begging us later. Lyra glared at him and quickly chased after Dahlia. What an idiot! Chris Nolan smirked and followed. This was the perfect opportunity to swoop in. He wasn't going to miss it. Foolish woman. As Dustin watched Dahlia leave, A flicker of emotion flashed across his eyes. He had deliberately pushed her away, for her safety. If he hadn't arrived in time earlier, she would have been defiled by Trevor Spanner. He never wanted something like that to happen again. That's why he had to be ruthless, to sever all ties completely. Now, time to settle the score. Dustin took a deep breath, turned around, and once again faced the Dre Group building. The only reason he had left earlier wasn't because he was afraid. It was because he had to be cautious with her around. Now that Dahlia was safe, he had nothing to hold him back. A gentleman takes 10 years to exact revenge. A villain does it overnight. He wasn't a gentleman. So tonight, there would be blood. Without hesitation, Dustin marched into the Dre Group. Under the stunned gazes of the guards, he locked the door behind him. Then, screams and cries of pain began to echo through the building. The carnage lasted for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes later, boom! With a loud crash, the door to the top-floor office was blasted open by the flying body of a thug. Covered in blood, Dustin stepped over the corpse and walked in, exuding a terrifying aura. He looked like a demon straight out of hell, leaving a trail of blood and fear in his wake. Inside the office, Trevor Spanner and his men were frozen in terror, wide-eyed and hair standing on end. They never imagined that Dustin was this terrifying. He had fought his way from the first floor to the top, wiping out more than 200 people, alone. What kind of monster was he? What are you? Trevor was terrified, stumbling backward. When he first saw Dustin come back, he had smugly assumed the man was walking into a trap. But soon, he realized how wrong he was, dead wrong. Dustin wasn't walking into a trap. He was slaughtering everyone in his path. From the entrance to the top, no one had been able to stop him. You're out for revenge and don't even know who I am. Dustin slowly stepped forward, eyes cold as ice. Don't come any closer. I swear I'll shoot. Trevor suddenly pulled a gun from the drawer. But before he could even aim, Dustin lunged forward and grabbed the barrel. Crunch! With a sickening metallic creak, Trevor watched in horror as Dustin twisted the steel gun like it was clay. That was solid steel. What kind of person could crumple a gun with their bare hands? Dustin, it's all a misunderstanding. If you leave now, I promise I'll never bother you again. Trevor was sweating bullets, terrified out of his mind. No wonder even powerful figures like Hunter Anderson treated Dustin with such reverence. You won't come after me? But I still plan to come after you. As he spoke, Dustin suddenly grabbed Trevor's shoulder and yanked down hard. Crack! With a sharp snap, his arm was dislocated. Ah! Trevor screamed in agony. My woman! Someone like you thinks he can touch her? Expressionless, Dustin grabbed the other arm and broke it too. Trevor collapsed in a puddle of sweat, his face twisted in pain. The others in the room were trembling, too afraid to even move. Do you have any idea who I work for? My backer is Edwin Hummer, one of Swinton's 3 top bosses. If you kill me today, he'll tear you to pieces. Faced with death, Trevor tried to threaten him, hoping to stall. Is that your final statement? Dustin raised an eyebrow and slammed him into the floor with a punch. If you've got nothing else to say, then go ahead and die. No! Please don't kill me. I'm rich, I'm powerful. Whatever you want, I'll give it to you. Just spare me. Trevor, bleeding and kneeling on the floor, began kowtowing furiously. He was truly terrified. Rich and powerful? You just reminded me of something. Dustin glanced around and locked eyes with a sharply dressed man cowering in the corner. You're one of Trevor's close men, aren't you? The man trembled and nodded but didn't speak. Good. Kill him, and all his assets are yours. Dustin kicked a knife across the floor toward him. The man hesitated, staring at the knife. But then his eyes hardened. And no! Before Trevor could finish, the man had already picked up the knife and plunged it into his chest. Blood sprayed everywhere. Trevor's eyes widened in disbelief as he collapsed to the floor. Dead. Even in death, he didn't understand what kind of enemy he had provoked. And Master, he's dead, the man said nervously. Trevor had quite a bit of influence in East Side. Now that he's gone, can you keep things under control? Dustin asked indifferently. If he was going to forge his own path, it was time to start grooming some pawns. Master, don't worry. I'll keep it under control, the man answered with conviction. Oh? That confident? Dustin raised an eyebrow in surprise. Then tell me, what's your position in the Dre Group? Instead of answering directly, the The man pointed to Trevor's bloody corpse and said, "He was my father."
And just can't accept it. This can't be the end yet. You promised to never leave, and now you're gone. Can't believe I can feel the world slipping away as you slowly fade from my everyday. You promised forever a love without end, but now I'm left broken, struggling to mend. I thought we were so tied, destined for a lifetime, love with no end, love with no end. Staying in my imagination, memorizing the past time, the secrets, the love, the care. Now they're echoes in the air. I still see your face in every place, feel your warmth, your gentle grace. But now there's just an empty space, and I'm lost in this endless chase, keeping you in my heart, a piece of you I'll never